Hello everyone, welcome to It's All Mental Podcast. And in this episode today, we want to talk about the rising cases of mental health related issues in Uganda. I'm your host Asiat, and with me here today, I have a clinical psychologist who is going to share more about why are we seeing these cases of mental health rising in Uganda. Alex, you're welcome.
Hello everyone, it's a great opportunity to be on this podcast. My name is Alex Mpaata, and I work with Psychiki Foundation Uganda. Psychiki Foundation Uganda is a mental health organization that focuses at community empowerment to see that people live well, to care for themselves mentally, but also to support those that are struggling with mental illnesses through support, psychosocial support, and fight stigma. So I am very honored and blessed to be here on this show, waiting on what we are going to discuss. So please pay keen attention.
So with the rising cases of mental health, what do you think could be the reason as to why we are having quite a big increase in the mental health related cases in Uganda right now?
Thank you very much. I really don't think that there is a particular reason that I could give to that, but I think we are just getting to be more aware of mental health issues right now. Honestly, these things have been within our communities, have been within us, but people just did not know what it is. You realize that we have associated it more to the spiritual beat, but now with the awareness and the knowledge that is coming, some of the things at Psychic that we build is that knowledge gap, is to raise awareness. So people are getting to know, oh, wait a minute. What I was thinking was mental illness. It wasn't witchcraft. It wasn't a spiritual issue. It was a sickness. So that's why now we are seeing more cases coming up. But besides that, there are also different changes that have come up within our communities and within the country of Uganda. As other people have grown in terms of economic empowerment, gotten a lot of money, some people have become so poor at another expense. You understand? So poverty also has been a very big problem. You understand? Yet the demands have not changed. They have just increased, and people's incomes have not increased. So the frustration that comes with that, leading you to stress. You understand? So depression, anxiety, because you will understand that in Africa and even in Uganda where we were part of Africa, anxiety and depression are the leading causes.
Mental health related.
You understand?
Yeah.
So ask yourself, what would make someone depressed? What would make someone anxious? Because all the other things, if I am not well, if I am broke, if I am struggling with an illness, all that is going to make me anxious and will lead me into a depression. Hence, an increase in the mental health cases. So those are the major two things I can say. That awareness has come out, we are speaking more about it, but also the prevailing circumstances within the environments where we are staying, starting with family. Breaking it down may take forever. But at the end of the day, where we are, our workplaces, for those who have work, even one who has work is stressed at work.
Okay, so what do you think, besides poverty and what you have talked about, what are the main drivers that are driving Ugandans to find themselves that right now they are having these mental health related challenges?
So, like I have said earlier, we may not clearly lay down that these are the 10 things that are driving Ugandans to issues that make them feel not mentally well, or the cases to rise. But again, it comes back because when it comes to mental illness or mental health challenges, what leads person A into crisis may not lead person B into crisis, and what leads person B into crisis may not lead person A into crisis. You understand? So our challenges differ that push you into a state that causes you for mental health challenges. You understand? So they are not specific. But when you look at our country right now, I'll just go into the political arena and look at it. You understand? The tensions that have come around. Then look at our nation also. We have a very young population. We have young people who have now been exposed to issues concerning media. So social media has become the order of the day. People think if I'm not validated by TikTok, then I am not enough. Someone is comparing him or herself with someone who is somewhere on a TikTok show with something which is staged and they think it is real. That's how life happens. I and you sat down to do this podcast today. This has been set up. This is not the way we sit in normal ways. You understand? Yes. So if you start validating yourself basing on me, who you are watching on your screen, and it starts eating you up, then your self-esteem is low. Then you have started already going into what we think it's going to turn into a crisis. So the population of Uganda being young people, then these young people, the social media that has come, the AI, the what, we have people, young people do not want to work anymore. He also thinks he's going to sit back and make money. You understand? And if they don't get money, how come my TikTok account is not getting adverts? Okay. So you're getting frustrated. Relax. Maybe you're not supposed to be on TikTok to make money. You need to go out and work with your hands. So I may not give you particular things. These things rotate around us and they're with us. Yes.
Okay, so since you've talked about the youth that are the most affected right now, what do you think parents, friends, the community can do where should we start from in order to support these youths when it comes to mental health related issues?
Thank you very much. I've always said we have a generation that thinks that we do not need old people. And we have a generation that think that we know it all. You understand? And it is evident in even how we speak. Even some of our legislators in political areas, when they are speaking, stock Mpia for my international guests. I don't know how to explain that, but yeah, you will Google the stock Mpia. So you hear some statements of like, for us, this is our time, this is our generation. But God did not make this world to do apart, generations to do away from each other. But we get through a transformation. So getting back to your point, the point is like we need to blend. Yes, there are older people, but those people were raised in a particular way. So a community cared for each other. Us growing up, you grew up as a child of a community, not as an individual. You understand? So everyone was responsible about you.
Like how it is right now. It's so different.
It's so different. Today, my child is my child. You touch my child, I take you to police. We have become an America somewhere within Africa. The challenge is at some point, we are adopting what is not meant for us. And we think getting it is civilization.
Yes.
You understand? Yeah. So it is putting us into a state. I think if I got my child in an international school, and I'm not against international schools, but you find a parent who wants a child in an international school, but where they stay and where the school is, they have to wake up the child at 4 a.m. You're waking up a 5-year-old kid at 4 a.m. because you have to beat the traffic to get into another school, which is very far away. But remember, me and you, that brain development happens when the children sleep. So that child is not having enough sleep. So when that child grows up, they are going to be incapacitated in some way or the other. So they are prone to some of these challenges that their brain may not be able. So the issue is the community, how we are growing up.
So what do the parents right now do, the friends, the community? What can we do in order to find that we are supporting these youths when it comes to mental health related challenges? Because the parents right now are watching us, so you could be talking to them directly so that they understand what are some of the things that they can be able to do in regards to the mental health of their children. So
I'm a parent, and this can be a little bit disturbing at some point, but we are in the challenge we can have is a change issue. There's a saying that if you do not change, change will change. You understand it? The question is how the change is coming. We, as the parents, are still rigid in some way or the other. They must adapt to certain things, to certain changes as they come about their children. What am I trying to say? We need to get involved in raising a child. As a parent, try to understand the child, but also let the child try to understand the parent. So we need to strike a balance. You understand? Yeah. Because we cannot stop civilization. We cannot stop changes that are coming. But how do we synergize and allow development, allow changes, but also not to lose our cultures and norms that have helped us to survive up to this time. So as a parent, learn how to communicate. Because for us growing up, our parents were not like the way we sit with our children nowadays. You saw your dad and you ran away. Because, you know what, he was a military person. When your mother came, she had to look for what have you done and what haven't you done. When she's leaving home, she has to leave instructions. Make sure you wash the utensils, make sure you mop the house, make sure you do this. No relationship. And for us, I will say this, allow me. The challenge sometimes I see is even with us, my generational parents, for us who are young parents. Now, there are certain things we did not get from our parents. We think we are giving them to our children. So, we are fighting the battles we wanted to fight with our parents. And we are leveraging with me, I didn't get that. My child has to get it. Me, they used to beat me. Me, I cannot touch my child. What are you raising? Dear parent, for you can't touch your child. You understand? Yeah. So, we have ended up with misguided children. We have ended
up using drugs.
The
parents can't even talk to them.
The parents can't talk to them because it's the seed you planted earlier. You understand? Okay. When you plant that seed, it will grow. If you showed your child that they cannot be told by anyone, your teacher comes at school, tells your child, don't do this and this. Your child comes and tells you, teacher was shouting at me. You go the following morning and you attack the teacher. Who is your child that they cannot talk to? They shouted at us. Didn't we grow? We are here. Aren't you watching us? Will your child be watched in the next 2 years or in the next 10 years when they are up here? Those systems that look ugly and rubbish and look like they are not good that raised us, they add a particular good in them. I'm not saying that there were no things that went to an extreme. They are there, but we need to borrow and synergize.
Okay, so what are some of the things, the signs and symptoms that now the parents that we are talking to right now, the friends, the community, the teachers, who are spending a lot of time with these children, what can they look out for in terms of signs of mental health related issues so that they start at a certain point to start looking after these children so that they don't end up getting depression, anxiety, using drugs and all those other mental health related issues?
What I can say is this. As a parent, try as much as possible to be involved in your child's life. By getting involved in your child's life, what am I talking about? It starts with even things like communication. Can your child freely come and talk to you about something without you judging and without you first throwing a particular tantrum about it? I'm not saying that we should not talk to our children or discipline them, but if you're going to discipline a child, explain why you're disciplining. I am going to discipline you because I have warned you several times to not do the thing and you have continued to do it. So I am going to give you 3 canes today. If you ever do it again, I will give you more. That is a communication. So as I go down for you to beat my bam bam, I know you warned me and you have given me a reason why you're caning me. Growing up, they first caned you before they told you why they were caning you. Now that was another thing. Our parents, what were you thinking? Anyway, I'm not going there. So what I'm trying to say is get involved in the life of your child. From home, before you think about school, home. Did your child lay the bed? Tell them, you know what, they lay your bed. Give reasons for why you are telling what you're telling. Don't just command. Give reasons why you're asking the child to do what you want them to do. There are those small things that look like they are minor, but they are the major things that can lead us into mental crisis. You understand? So I will say, communicate with your child. Then, be quick to listen and slow to speak. Try to listen as much as you can. Then, where do you expose their child to? Things like TV. Learn to control. You understand? Don't just let your child control themselves on the TV as if they're the owners. No. You also have to tell them that they are not the ones paying these bills. It's you. So when they grow up and they go in their own house, they will watch what they want. But as long as they're under your care, under your watch, they need to follow particular rules. We need to show children that there are rules that govern life. We don't just live far. If that word exists in English, I almost said it in Uganda anyway. So again, getting back there.
Don't just live anyhow.
Far or anyhow. But again, coming back to what we are talking about, that as parents, there is no manuscript I can give you. But let me tell you, you need to follow your instincts about your child. If something is going wrong with your child, honestly, you will know if you're the parent. Your heart will speak, your spirit will speak. Try as much as, and when your instincts kick in, for instance, you're like, is this child doing drugs? No, they can't do. Don't take things minor. Why did your instincts even raise such a concern? Because you know this child. You gave birth to this child.
There could be signs.
There could be signs. So the small things like them locking up in their room and they don't want to move out, and the change in behavior, if I can say that. Watch the behavior of your child, because you know your child from the day you can put them in your womb. For a mother, for the father you've watched, I'm talking about present fathers, disclaimer. So if you have watched your child, I will know. I know my children. I know my boys. Even when I move in class, just a second like this, and I know he has done something and the teacher has not yet told me, I just look at him, and before even the teacher says it, I tell him, what have you done? Because I know how he does it. You understand? There are times where I've walked to class to pick him, and he does a certain thing, and I'm like, wait a minute, what have you done? Then he tries to pretend. I'm like, no, let's go back. And honestly, there's something he has done. Because he's my child. I know them. Do you know your child? Do you know your child? Attention to detail. Attention to detail. Try as much as possible to be a present parent. I think it's another thing.
Yeah.
Because we are so busy looking for money. You're looking for the money, you're trying to save generational wealth for people who are mentally ill.
Yeah.
They are not going to keep that wealth.
It's not going to help them.
It's not. So the guy is not in a great mental state, and you have billions of money in your house, and you have kept... For who? For who? You have stolen all this government money for your mentally ill child. Can you take care of that person? Can you first address first things first? Do we really need the wealth? Yes. But for people who are mentally stable.
Okay, when it comes to Uganda right now, like we have said, you are a psychologist, but we have seen the numbers of psychologists reducing. Not the number, people may be out there, but looking at the population of Uganda and compare it with the number of psychologists, that psychiatrists, social workers, people who are in this mental health field, it's really very low. So what are some of the things that you think that the people in the community can help out? Because earlier on when we were interacting in regards to psychic, you are talking about community. Coming up in order to support the mental health goal. So what can the community do in this aspect where we're having few psychologists, psychiatrists, social workers who are working within the mental health field? What can our community do?
Thank you very much. That's a very, very important aspect to look at. You are going to become the psychologist, and you're going to become the social worker within your house. Because what makes the difference between me and you is maybe I have a particular experience that is added on because of the education, because of me going to school and going to a university and sitting in a class that maybe specifically looked at this. You understand? But let me ask you a question. Earlier on when our parents growing up, don't you think they had issues? How did they manage? How did they manage their mental health that we are not managing it? There are things they used to do. Like I said, we need to go back to borrow certain things. We need to go back to communal way of living. That Asiat's child is my child. If he or she is going astray, I have a right to speak to him or her. You don't need to be a psychologist to do that, or a social worker. But that parenting alone is going to help my child not to go astray. Because you have seen it. The experience you have as a parent in the community, you can tell which child is going wrong. As yet, I can move around and in community and I look at people's children and I'm like, oh my God, what are you raising? But I am restrained from speaking, lest I get embarrassed or offended from the parent. But if the community was still open, so coming back to the community, yes, we have a few psychiatrists. And by the way, let me say that we have very few, about 50 something, maybe 52 or 51, and we are caring for 48 million Ugandans. So I want you to do the mathematics and the ratio. that will only make you care for your own mental health better. Because if you came to the hospital, the chances of getting to see a psychiatrist are minimal.
Yeah.
You understand? Because we do not have them. And if there are those who are studying, it will take some time. You're not coming overnight. So that's why as Psychiki Ygeia Foundation, we go back to empower the community. That's why we deal with people like the VHTs. Your immediate Musawo. Let me give you an example. The VHTs you have in your villages, they are not medical people that went to medical school.
They did.
But isn't government telling them to give you medicines?
They do.
Don't you take your babies there and they immunize them?
They even wear them.
They wear them.
A lot of things.
They immunize them. They inject them. They do everything that the doctor does that you think that they are doing in the hospital. But they have been empowered. You understand? Yes. There are people in the community who have showed willingness to volunteer to support the health system.
Yes.
It is the same manner that we are going to do, and we are doing at Psychiki Ygeia Foundation, that community be empowered. Because the issues that are bringing critical mental illnesses that we are seeing in the hospitals,
at the referral,
the regional referrals, they are small things that would have been dealt with at the least.
Community level. Yes.
Let me give you a certain example. Things like someone is in an abusive marriage, domestic violence. Yeah. Let's take a look at that. And one of the issues that is causing this domestic violence, let's say drunkenness. But if you look at the drunkenness of the husband, it is coming out of frustration, stress. And what is stressing them? They are not able to raise particular amounts of money to support their own family. You understand? So you realize that I cannot support my family. So because I cannot support my family, the thoughts that come with me not being able to support my family as a husband keep me frustrated, and I look for a way out. You understand? Yeah. I have to find a way, because the way God created us as human beings, we are not isolated beings. We are social beings. Yeah. There is no one in this world that can be alone. Impossible. If you are not alone, you are with something. Yeah. The beauty about not being alone or being with something, it does not mean being with something is something physical. You can be even with something spiritually or connect your soul to something else. So when you go to the bar and you drink, ask people who drink, they'll tell you, for a meantime, I forget my problems. For a meantime, I forget my problems. So that means every time their problems come back, they have to refill. This is like a refill. Eh? I have to refill so that I keep forgetting. You understand? Yeah. So when he comes back home, he's violent towards his wife. Now that is domestic violence. You understand? Yeah. So that means if as a community we found a solution for person A to get a job, maybe they do not know how to interact with people. How do we teach them interpersonal skills? How do we get him or her an opportunity that will add a value to the community and give him or her money? The problem is not the drinking. The problem is not the domestic violence. The problem is
the money.
The money. Have you seen that chain? And you are ending up in the psychiatric ward at the regional referral. Yes. And you want me to sit down and find a solution for your patient. And I give medicine, and overnight they will come, and you know what?
Everything is okay.
No. Let us address issues from the grassroots. You understand? Well, so when I say such a thing, you realize that your mental health challenges do not come from the surface. That's what I have to do when you come to the hospital, that I have to dig into all that history to really underline what is the
problem.
The problem.
Why are you here?
So that's why I will say that when you see someone who is struggling with a mental illness, it's not that something is totally or something is wrong with them. What I'm trying to say, you are a candidate as well. Because you are just poverty, a line of poverty away. You're just some small stressor thing, and you will also come to the world. So don't think you're different. We need to work as a community on this.
Okay. So for someone who is watching us, what do you think you could leave them in regards to how they can take care of their mental health? Because you have said it starts from the community where we are before even we reach out to the hospitals. Someone who is watching us, a parent, someone who's working at a given workplace, in the community where we live, we spend most of our times, it could be a school. What are some of the things that they can do right now in order to find themselves, that they don't get to that point of coming to see you a psychologist, but they solve those problems from where they are.
Thank you. I'm going to say this. I normally meet people and I greet them and I say, hello, how are you? And the next thing they are saying, I'm fine. And I ask another question. You're sure you're fine? Not because I don't know, but you have a very wrong notion in our heads that whenever they ask you, how are you? I'm fine. And you have taught it to your children. How are you? What do they reply? I'm fine. You slap someone and you slap them and they start crying and you say to them, how are you? I am fine. Are you sure? I just slapped you. What am I trying to say? Let us be intentional about everything. Speak what you're supposed to speak. If you're not fine, you are not fine. If you want to rest, you want to rest. Consider how you feel first, as you consider how others feel, because just about you is not enough. You understand? So to the parent out there, to the employer out there, to the employee out there, can you pay attention to detail? Can you watch behavior? Let's learn to speak out. Let's learn to speak out. Speak how you feel, and after you have expressed how you feel, we shall deal with your feelings to see what's going on. Thank you.
Okay, I think as we are concluding this conversation today, because we have a rising number of mental health related issues, like you have said, it starts from the community. You who is watching us, endeavor to talk about how you're feeling. Sharing is really important, because you may share with someone and that moment they could be able to help you before even you start looking for a profession. Because like we have said, looking at the ratio of the health, the psychologists, the social workers, the mental health the mental health providers, the numbers are few as compared to the number of people who have challenges. So you who is watching as a parent, like Mpaata has said, kindly share where need be. Support that person from that community where you're staying, if in case you see them having problems that have to do with their mental well-being. And these problems can affect them in the long run to start even being taken to Botabika. And I know many of you even don't want to hear the thought of Botabika. So your last words for someone who's watching as we are closing today.
So my last words, they will not so differ much what I've said. Pay attention to detail. Speak out when you don't feel well. Speak out when you see a concern that is needed, but also be the shoulder that someone who may be struggling would lean on. Be quick to listen and slow to speak. Thank you.
Thank you for all who are watching us today. I think it has been quite a good conversation, and I'm hoping to invite Mpaata back again for another episode, and hope that you can watch and share, subscribe, because a lot of people are having these challenges and they would want to hear some of these words. Thank you for watching. I've been Asia, your host. It's All Mental Podcast, and we're saying goodbye to you. Bye.